Tẹ́ ẹ bá níyàn mi jẹ pé kí n má sọ̀rọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ ẹ̀, mo lọ́rọ̀ tí mo fẹ́ sọ.
Both junior secondary school and senior secondary school, primary school, làwọn Baptist Surulere ni wọ́n tilẹ̀kùn wọn làwọn ọmọ ò ní wọlé ìwé mọ́ nítorí pé wọ́n ní ká máa lo ìjáàbù. Gbogbo wọn wá nínú church yẹn ni wọ́n ń ṣe meeting. Wọ́n làwọn ní ilé ìwé o pé ìjọba kọ́ ló ní mọ́.
Well, it's not a matter of this morning alone. Just about 2-3 days ago, they started that the Muslim students in our school here must wear hijab. And we made it very clear to them that that's not possible. This is a mission school. And this mission school is granted by the government, right? But notwithstanding, we are the owner, the proprietor. And I made them to understand that I'm the proprietor of the school. And therefore, whatever that is not in line with the principle and practice of our church, of our denomination, will not be allowed here. They want to forcefully come into the school to make sure that the hijab is used here. But we made them to realize that that's not possible. The place was not using hijab before. There was no use of hijab here before. They just on Monday, they started, to make use of this. No, that's not the court judgment. The court did not in any way say that we are not the owner of the school. According to the rules and the regulation of Kwara State Ministry of Education, the proprietor of mission schools determine the uniform of the school, written bold and clear. We are the one that appoint the principal, the vice principal, the headmaster and the headmistress of our schools. We are the one that appoints them, and they are approved by the government and the continue. And at the same time, we are the one that gives the directive of the uniform of the school. Hijab is not part of our uniform in all the mission schools.
It's so sad and disheartening that we just come to resume to school as our normal day in, day out activities. And we found out that the church, Baptist Church at Surulere here in Ilorin, they have closed the school. They closed the school without the authority of the government. So sad. They closed the school and they left us outside, both the teachers and the students of Baptist primary, junior and senior secondary school, purposely because of using of hijab. The Muslim agitated some months back that we want to be observing our prayer during the school hours in the school, and we want our female students to be using hijab. This happened and it was settled that we should be observing our prayer. Then some days back, one of the students used hijab and the principal of the senior secondary school resisted the hijab. Then we flew up that this is not happening in Ilorin, particularly in the religion town. It was an agreement between us, the Ministry of Education, as well as at the church, and they told us they are going to show us. So what they could show us is to show us that the school that has been withdrawn back to the state government, they claim to be the owner of the school because they closed it, and the Ministry of Education were here. the school has not been opening. We are here. The students were there. In fact, most of our Muslim staff and the students were molested by the soldiers invited by the Baptist school. So heartening, so disappointing that this government is looking. Salaam alaikum.
This is an issue between the missionary school with the use of hijab. The matter is under control and it has been on the table of the governor. He has also selected some people as a committee member in which they are holding up the meeting. However, the school where we are now, Baptist Secondary School and Junior Secondary School, they've closed the school. They've closed the school by the government. So the area is under control. It's very peaceful and there is no any serious complaint.
See my daughter, look how they do it. The report was that it was the security agency that's driving them, that the church have bribed the security agencies. Say you understand, and is it there's no government in Kwara State again? And my question is this school a government school, a church school? Say you understand me? I don't mean it's a government school. All government school, Christian and Muslim are allowed to practice their religions. And this thing has happened since Monday, and the government kept quiet. Are they waiting for the general public to take over from them? This is how they encourage Boko Haram.
The government has set up a committee, and that committee comprises thought leaders from the two communities, that's the Christian and the Muslim communities. The committee is chaired by His Excellency Deputy Governor. The committee is looking at all the issues, specifically the issue of hijab vis-a-vis the position of the law and what authorities in those schools are also saying. I'm sure that at the end of the day, the committee will come up with something solid that will bring a lasting solution to the contention. At the moment, we urge our people to please be peaceful, to remain calm, and that's why the government has temporarily asked that those schools be shut down temporarily pending the resolution of the issues. Basically, we had disturbances in just one. However, for security reasons and for abundance of caution, the government feels we should just ask the 10 schools to please be shut temporarily whilst the government resolves the matter.
All courtesies. In the name of Allah the Exalted, I address this press conference on behalf of the Kwara State Muslim stakeholders, the concerned Muslim parents, the Muslim Student Society of Nigeria, Kwara State Chapter, Kwara State Muslim Youth, Form 1, and others. Please note that I had earlier addressed a press conference of this nature in the year 2020, calling on the Kwara State government to implement the judgment of the Court of Appeal in respect of the case initiated by CAN, Kwara State Chapter against her. The case had to do with two major concerns, among others: ownership of all government grant-aided schools and freedom of worship / mode of dressing for all students. These so-called grant-aided schools it had to be handed over since in 1976. May I state that up to today, since the last judgment back in 2019, despite our call and the calls from other concerned citizens in the state, the Kwara State government has not taken any bold step to implement the appeal court judgment. You may also want to note that in the beginning of this week, specifically Monday 15th of February 2021, some secondary schools, owned by some religious organizations, denied some female students, Muslim students, their right to wear the hijab. Which is tantamount to the appeal court judgment. The action was even done in the most crudest way by the Christian, who, in disregard to this right of disregard of the right of these children in their care, violently removed their hijabs. They removed hijab from the students who put them on from home. Consequently, this was fairly challenged by some Muslim teachers, calling the attention of school authorities to the provisions of the law as contained in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the appeal court judgment, which was initiated by the Christian group. To the dismay of the Muslim parents, some of the so-called clergymen trooped into the schools the following day, Tuesday, 16th February 2021, manned the gates of schools owned by Kwara State government and began to remove hijab from innocent Muslim students. This was also reported to the appropriate authority, which called a meeting at the office of the Secretary to the State Government. At the meeting, all efforts by the legal team of the Kwara State Government to clarify the content of the judgment was bluffed by the Christian group. It is in the light of this that we hereby demand the Muslim stakeholders and other interested groups earlier mentioned in this address demand the following from the Kwara State government with immediate effect. Public statement on the appeal court judgment. Directive to schools to allow our Muslim children practice Islam in all ramifications, observing their prayers, use their hijabs as related to the Muslim sisters. This is the time the government and the people of the state need peace more than ever before. It should be seen as a calling. Anything contrary will be seen as calling for trouble, as failure to act may lead to people enforcing their rights in the best possible way. As a stakeholder in this government, I appeal to His Excellency the Governor of Kwara State, Abdulrazak, to take bold and urgent steps in addressing this issue to avoid outbreak of avoidable crisis in the state. Thank you very much.